I mean,
I don't know
I'm trying to bring them back to life, but as I'm touching them, they're dead.
Oh, that's pikuach nefesh. That's a different story. That's not.
Yeah, no. Once the medic calls it, then I leave.
Yeah.
What is it? The whole Lego. What does that mean? It's Lego? Oh, it's Lego? What is this? Lego from IKEA?
No. Okay. Are we ready to roll? What daf we got tonight? Oh, so okay, we have to do a hakdama again from yesterday. Let's just chazer.
I think Yud we're doing today, right?
Today is Yud, yeah. So we said we're not choshesh shema gerer chulda. We're not worried about a weasel schlepping from house to house because then it's any ein lo davar saif. Right? And then we said that if you do see it take the chametz, then you're going to have to repeat the bedikas. Meaning the whole Mishna saying that you're not choshesh that the chulda goes from house to house. That's if you don't see it schlep. But if you do see it schlep, if you see it with chametz go into your house, then you're going to have to, which we're going to see a lot more tonight. And then that memela that got us into a whole sugya of safek motzi, ain't safek motzi midei vada, with all the different proofs about that, right? And then we had a Machlokes Abaye and Rava if we're concerned about a weasel, right? I think I didn't even finish the sentence. What did I do there? Hold on. Right, so we had a Machlokes Abaye and Rava whether we're choshed that we have to Rava. Remember, Rava asked on Abaye, is the weasel a navi that it knows when does a weasel hide things? Does a weasel not hide things? All right, fine. Then we had the case. Then we started with all the lumdisha cases. Right, the first case was if you have 9 piles of matzah and 1 pile of chametz. Right, and then the akbar comes and takes it, and we don't know where it got a pile from. So we say if he got it from the piles themselves, so then you're choshed. If he got it from the actual pile, you saw him take it from a pile, you just don't know which pile it was, then you have to be kol kavua kamefza mefza, and then you're gonna have to go in and be beidik the house again, right? But if there was just a piece laying around in the street, so then since that's not from where the safek started from, it's from the separation, then it would be called, then we say you go basaroiv, right? Which is a Machlokes Rashi Taisus, because we finished quickly yesterday. So Machlokes Rashi Taisus, this case of the 9 piles of matzah and the 1 pile of chametz, is that allowing you to eat it, or it's just telling you that you don't need bedikas chametz? Again, let's just paint the case again. You're sitting in the street, you have nine piles of chametz. 9 piles of matzah, 1 pile of chametz, and then you see a mouse come and grab some chametz, and then it goes into the house. It grabs something. It grabs something.
It was 1 and 1.
What? No, that's the second case. Case before that.
Okay.
Right? So then you forget which pile he took it from. And now he went in the house. So Rashi learns that the whole thing is about bedikas chametz. Do you have to be beidik it? Right? But it's mashma that let's say there's a piece sitting 50 feet away from these piles. Can you eat that now? Because you say go basaroiv, or that's not enough. Right? So that's a Machlokes Rashi Taisus, whether it's going to allow you to even eat this thing, or this piece, or is it only going to make you, it's only a shaila whether you're going to do bedikas chametz. And I'll tell you a classic example. Of course, somebody texted today, right? And I didn't think it was a comparison, but then the way the guy asked the shaila, the wife was by kol save, right? And in the cart, when she came to the cart, there was a bag of food in the cart, right? And she by mistake put it into her car, and then when she got home, she realized that it's not her bag, it's somebody else's bag. She called Kol, said they didn't answer the phone. How much sugar? He wants to know how much sugar does he have to be to return this bag of food?
Right?
because maybe it's a guy, maybe it's a guy's, right? So how do you look at that? You're saying, how could it be? Kol Seif doesn't have goyim. That's what you're saying?
Rive, don't we say we go bust a Rive? I mean, Rive
Rive-
people that shop there.
No,
are
because
Jews.
Amazing Savings is very populated by Goyim.
Yes, especially.
Still, I
now
would still
holiday
think,
season.
Amazing Savings or Cold
No, it was the
He
same.
said
It was
Kol
from
Seif,
Kol
but
Seif
Amazing
next door to
Savings
Amazing
is the same.
Savings.
It's a bag
Was it
of
in a cold
food.
save bag or an amazing
It's a
savings
bag
bag?
of
Right.
food.
Don't make a
It's not
difference, but they could have gone into
They could have gone
to
in. They
Amazing
couldn't
Savings
find what they
and
went. They went to a supermarket to get some food.
Fine, but there's still Rive people who shop at Cold Save.
No, but here's the thing. It's very nice. We could all say svaras, right? But the bottom line is this is a case of parush. This is not kavua. The safek happened, I think. Well, that's what I'm throwing it out to the oilam. Is this called the safek took place in the store, in which case it's kavua, and therefore it's considered 50-50, and you have to, and it's a safek if it's a yid, or do we say no? Rive stores, well, you can't say, see, that's the thing. The Kol Seif bag does tilt it a little bit. It does, right? Or do you say
Is this
Rive
Ruba
people
the
are
Issa
goyim,
come on or
maybe
Ruba the
the
Lessa
goyim-
come
no,
on?
No, but Lamaisa, you say Rive people are goyim, and maybe the guy went into
Do we
Kol Seif.
say Kol Kavua when it's Ruba the Lessa come on?
Well, who says it's a Ruba de Lessa come on?
Because it's a stomach that most people, it's a stomach that Rive people who shop there are Jews. It's not Ruba, it's not Kol de Parish Mamish that this particular like piece of meat came from this particular store. It's not an Issa come on.
I don't know.
Why is
Lessa
it, why,
come on.
why is this a din of Rive? Why is this not
Because
just a din of...
you go bust a Rive Yidden.
No, but
all the Rive
to do
shops,
what?
you go
To
bust
do
a
what?
Rive Yidden.
You're going
They
Basar
sell
Rav
that
Yidin
as
to
a
do Hashavas Aveda. There's no simon. If the store's not picking up, there's nobody looking for this stuff. There's no way the
Separate
person...
question.
No, but...
That's not what he's saying.
First
That's
of all,
a
the
separate
cameras.
Shiloh.
Why don't they just look at the camera?
Good, we can get all the kunsin. That's not what I'm trying to decide whether they should. I told the guy he's got to call back Kol Seif. Right? That's what I told him, Lamaisa, right? For whatever the thing. But the bottom line is this considered Rive Goyim or not? Lamaisa, it's Rive Goyim.
Does this
Why isn't it
depend on
Rive
the shop
Yidden?
and the coverage gas
What do you
and
mean
Kufya
Roiv
Dalet?
Goyim? What do you mean Roiv Goyim? Where's their
Right.
Roiv Goyim?
In that area.
outside.
So
Outside
then
of Kol Seif.
the case with the meat in the Gemara, there's Roiv meat in the world is Goyish, is treif meat, not kosher meat. I don't care if you find it on Central Avenue or Washington Avenue or in the parking lot of Frankel's. Roiv meat in Far Rockaway and so 5 towns is treif. So then what does that have to do with Roiv of
Right.
and
And
Roiv
Hanafi.
of that's over here?
Aaron, I couldn't agree more.
You're not going by
No.
Roy
That's
of
not
Warren.
a good. I agree. The store itself is Rive Yidden. I don't know
It was
why
already-
we're
it
going
was
bust a
already
Rive.
Kedai-
So we should all be Christians because Rive of the world are Christians. What
was
does that have to do
already-
with anything? That's not a Rive.
It was already Kedai that to get
Well,
you
then
and Rabanan
Simon
to
really
agree was
wasted
already
his
Kedai.
time and money.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. How do you look at it? If you find something here on Beach 9th Street, do you say it's Rive Yidden or Rive Goyim?
Depends what that thing is. Is it money? Are we talking about something as a simon? I'm saying
It's a chai,
No,
it's
we're
a
not
chai
getting into
necklace.
Hilchos Shabbos Aveda. The bottom line is Rive Goyim or not?
It was a bike. It was probably a bike.
yeah.
What do you go by?
It
You
was
go by
probably
the block
stolen from
and
you.
zip code. You go by the state.
That's the question, but that's a little bit of a different shiloh than this. I'll just bring up one more shiloh.
Your Shaila is if this is Parush or not.
Correct. I'm really asking, is that called kavua, meaning because it's the parking lot of the store, or is
Isn't
it
that
called
based
parush?
on? Isn't that based on the shop and coverage gas and Kufya Dalet? How far
Yeah.
back you go? In other words,
Correct.
just because my Shaila started now, but if you can trace this Shaila back to the store, that's Kavua.
Very good, Gershon. I'm very impressed because I Grada, only reason why I don't even remember that shach, but only because I'm learning it in a different sugi in Yeshiva Rockaway in the mornings that it came up. And it came, the reason why I'm bringing it up to the Olam is because it was something that was very negayah, very much in the papers 2 years ago. And I heard this shir from Rabbi Yisrael Reisman, where you remember the Quicken Loans disaster? So we brought it up last night at the end of the daf, but the Quicken Loans thing was that they're Yidden. The guy's a Yid, the Quicken Loans guy. So the shaila was, then they go flip the mortgage, right? And we don't know who they're flipping the mortgage to. So do you need a heter iska? Do you not need a heter iska? Right? So how do you look at the internet? If you're getting something, or from one store to another store, or on the internet, is that called kavua because the safek took place in the store, which is cyberspace, or do we say no? Once it's handed over to somebody else, then it's not in the place that the safek started from. Meaning, what's the difference?
Does the delivery service count as the store? Is that not
that's
exactly
thing? That's exactly right. Well, that's what I mean. Abrami, that's a very good example. If all of a sudden you have a delivery guy, right, and now you have a safek which store he got it from. I don't know how that safek would happen, but let's say the guy's delivering meat, and the package came off the meat, whatever, and he delivers for Yidden, he delivers for Goyim, like what's the name of this? Uber Eats or whatever it is, right? And now you're not sure.
Yeah, but nowadays with everything is tracked, and every day you have a order number, and you have an item that you bought, and it comes to your house. Why would it be a safek?
Let's say the package fell off, this and that, whatever the scenario would be. Is that safek starting in the store, in which case we look at it as 50-50, or is that starting in the street, in which case we say it goes basar roiv?
Exactly. What was that? Anyway, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying it has to go it starts by the store because everything is tracked. You have an order number that starts
not
from
true enough, Tully. I have a package in my house that has my address on it and somebody else's name. It's a $200 Christmas set from Canada. I have no idea how it got here, how my name got on it. So halacha l'maaseh.
I sent that to you.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever it is. So these are the shilas that come up in the practical. Right? Okay, let's go weiter. Let's go for more lumpish cases.
The case of the chametz has an added isser of karis on it if you eat it.
Correct. So now we're going to get to now.
Does that make it a little bit different than finding the wrong
I don't know
bag?
if we're machalik between. Are we machalik by karis? I don't think we're machalik.
We've added stringencies for kashrus on Pesach because of the isser of karis.
What?
Why wouldn't this?
Yeah, but Roiv and Chazaka work with percentages no matter what the problem is. It doesn't matter.
No, it's not true. For kalim, for tefillas kalim, there are certain things that work during the year from milchiks to fleishiks if you want to change things over, but it doesn't work for chametz because there's a separate isser of karis that we say because of that we have to be more stringent. So why would this be any different? So maybe for the idea of having to maybe to destroy it, maybe you don't have to, but for eating it is very different.
You're not really arguing. You're talking about chumrah dekaris, and Rabanan talking about me'ikar adin.
Just give out the money.
Me'ikar adin, you'd be right. Rive is rive. Doesn't matter if you have karis. We say by Isser Hanav, Vasa B'chalav, we say rive. There's no difference.
Tiago, did we even start the daf yet?
No, we did not.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
It's part of the daf, parents. It's part of the daf.
I don't know particulars, but Roiv B is Achar Abal. That's a chorus. That's a Misa thing. And you say Roiv B is Achar Abal.
Well, that's really just to prove paternity.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to come with chorus. Is it negayat the chorus? I'm not sure. Okay. Let's see. All right, good. Let's see. So now, and then the second case was two piles, and there was two piles, one of matzah, one of chametz, and it falls into two things. And we say that the matzah fell into the matzah, and the chametz fell into the chametz, and there we go. Right? Fine. That's then the Gemara says. So we left really off in the middle. So we wanted to prove truma and chulin to matzah. So the Gemara says the last four words of the daf. Aimer on the Testament base. Aimer damrin on shani oimer. The rule is called shani oimer. I say that like-minded things fall into like-minded things. Right? The chametz falls into the chametz. The matzah falls into the matzah. The truma falls into the truma. The chulin falls into the chulin. We're saying, when do we say that rule? That's only by truma derabanan. So it's a derabanan. So we say this rule. B'chametz deraisa miyam yunan. But chametz, which is a deraisa, do we say it? We don't say this rule by deraisa. It's too strong. Sort of what you were saying, Uri. Right? Yes. So the ending one answers. Atu bedikas chametz deraisa. Is bedikas chametz deraisa? Derabanan. Bedikas chametz derabanan. The deraisa b'vita ba'amasagi. Because the deraisa, you're mevatalit. So therefore, since you're mevatalit, the whole bedikas chametz is derabanan, and therefore, whether we're going to require you to go do bedikas chametz in this house again a second time is a derabanan. So therefore, we're going to say you don't have to, because we're going to say that the chametz went into the chametz house and the matzah went into the house that was checked. Okay, next case. Yeah, tzibur echad shel chametz, right?
If you found a bag of dishes in the shopping cart in a coal safe bag, then you could say then you have is it a guy or a yid?
Why? Because maybe it's amazing.
Because it came from amazing savings.
All right. Okay.
The product came from. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So tzibur echad shel chametz. If you have a pile of chametz, right? Ulafan of beis batim bedugan, and you have two houses that were baidik the chametz. Vasa akbar v'shakal, and then akbar came along and took the chametz. Again, now we're down to one pile of chametz, two houses that were already bedikas chametz, right? Then came a mouse and it took it. We don't know which house it went into. Okay, so now what? Do they both have to do it, or there's only one? So hainu shnei shvilin. That's the case of shnei shvilin, right? Two paths. The tanan shnei shvilin. If you have two paths, echad tamei v'echad tar. One is tamei, one is tar. V'halach be'echad mehen, right? And if somebody went on one of the paths, v'asa tahirus, and then he did tahirus, right? I mean, it doesn't mean Tyrus like for a mace. He touched Tyrus. And then his friend went in the other path, right? And then also Tyrus. So now one of these guys messed up, okay? I mean, they didn't mess up. There were two paths. One path had a mace on it, a dead body on it, and the other path did not. One guy went on one path, one guy went on the other path. So one of these guys is Tameh. So what's the din? If they each come and ask their own shaila, tahirin shneim, they're both tar. If they come to ask the shaila at the same time, then tmein. Right? You hear what he's saying? If they each ask their own shaila, they're tar. How can you say that? One of them is for sure tamei. Right? But the pshat is because each one is a safek. Each one is a safek. So Mamela, you have to tell each one. There's no reason to be matama you. Each one he was a safek. Right? That's so. But if they come together, then you can't tell them that they're both okay. Right? How could that? That's just looks like a sheker. Because one.
Is that like Schrodinger cat? Is that like Schrodinger cat? Like the cat that can't be alive and dead at the same time?
I don't know what you're referring to, but yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
But it's more than that. If both come at the same time, you have Vadei Tumei B'Rishus Rabban.
Well, what? Right, but you have a Vadei. I mean, if they each come separate, it's also.
No, but in each case, it's a safek Tumei B'Rishus Rabban.
Correct. Right. So each one. So, but then when they come together, the shaila comes together. Then you can't do that. Right.
Now we have Vadei.
Yeah. So that's Rabbi Yehuda's shita. Rabbi Yossi, Aimer Benkach Uvenkach Tmein. No, Rabbi Yossi disagrees, and he says probably what all of us would have said, right? Based on the way we reacted to the kol save shaila, right? Where we use our svara. They gotta be tamei, right?
So, not the first guy who comes, only the second
we don't
guy.
know. We don't know, so we're gonna go. How can you not be like, okay? Well, for sure one, not like Rabbi Yossi who mattered both, right? That I mean, I can't imagine anybody here would say that on their own. That Rabbi, they're both tar. No, we wouldn't. That doesn't really fit with our brains, the way our brain, at least my brain, the way my brain works, doesn't work.
What about that Machlokes, Rashi and Rosh? I think it's a Rashi when it comes to three pieces that are two of them are and correct. You know, and the shaila is a third piece when Rav makes it tamei, makes it that it's kosher. Take out one piece? Do you have to take out one piece? Isn't that also vadei going to be you're eating tamei, or one's vadei going to be let's say not
exactly
kosher?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So how's that any different than this Babas Achas case?
It is. I think it's the same.
So I'm saying based on this Gemara, how did I forgot which Rishon passes which way, but how does he pass that you're able to eat it? That bittul works that it's lahapla, that it's mahapich.
So that's a little different because it's bittul, right?
But it's still it's still outstanding Rav, no?
Yeah, but here with the bottom line is the Chachamim told somebody that if it's a safek tumah, then you're okay. Safek tumah, you're okay. Oh, you and the other guy have the same safek, and how could both of you it doesn't make a difference. Bottom line is you both came at different times to ask the shaila, and therefore it's a safek. Right? Agav, once you're bringing it up, I'll just bring another hack up. right? Remember, if the island remembers from LA years ago, remember that case where the butcher shop was caught with a tray for meat, and Rabbi Belsky Zechron Rocha Paskind, that I think they came out with it at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Friday. He said anybody who already till 2 p.m., even if you were online, right? I don't remember exactly. He said 2:00 up till 2:00 that day, whoever bought the meat could eat the meat. I don't know if anybody actually listened to him, but up until 2:00 till they found out what this shaila was, then you're okay because it was already considered parush when I don't remember exactly what his lumdus was. Right, that's already considered parush.
He also it was they never found treif. It was only non-glat. So I think he was more makel. Yeah.
It could be, but that was part of his lumdus. Is that where were you when the shaila started? Where were you when the shaila started? Point is that all these safekas are they're extremely technical and they can make absolutely no sense, right? Saying if you couldn't find the parking spot, so therefore you got onto the line late, Mamela, your food, and you can't eat your food. But the guy who got it one step in front of you and bought the food, he's fine, right? Okay, whatever it is. But Rabbi Yossi disagrees. Rabbi Yossi, Amar Benkach Benkach Tamein, they're both Tamei. So Amar Rav, Vitem Rabbi Yochanan, Bebas Achas, Divrei Akol Tamein. He's saying differently. If it's at one time, everybody holds it to Tamei. I mean, if they both asked the Shaila at one time. If one came after the other, Divrei Akol Tahirin, everybody holds Torah. The Machlokes is if one guy comes and he asks the Shaila for himself and he asks it for his friend. Rabbi Yossi says that's considered like one time, right? Because the Shaila is being presented at the same time. Rabbi Yehuda says no, that's considered Ze'ah Chazeh, right? And therefore you can be mekel. Yeah, so that's Rava's way of looking at the Machlokes. Fine, that's that case. Next case, safek all, safek loy all. Let's say there's a safek. We don't know if the mouse went into the house. Right, the case we just did till now, we know the mouse went into a house. We just don't know which house it went into. Here again, one pile of chametz, the mouse takes it, and we don't know if it went into the house or not. One house, one pile of chametz, one house. We don't know if it went in or not.
Why don't you have a chazaka make Kara?
That what?
The house is baduk.
Yeah. So okay, wait 1 second. Let's see how the Gemara goes out. Yeah. So safek all safek hainu bika. That's the case of bika. A bika means how do you touch a bika? A valley. We plugged it to Rabbi Lazar Rabanan. It's a Machlokes Rabbi Lazar Rabanan. The Tanan hanichnas lebika b'yimai shamim. Somebody who's traveling in a field during the rainy season. V'tuma besad the plainis, and one of the fields in the bika, meaning a bika is like a big thing of a bunch of different fields. One of those fields has tumah in it. Right? V'tuma besad the plainis. Again, the Tanan hanichnas lebika. Somebody we know he's went into a bika. B'yimai shamim. The tumah besad the plainis, and one of the fields had tumah in it. V'amar echad, and one of them said halachti b'makam halaz, and one of them said I went into that place. I have no idea if I ended up going into that field that had the tumah in it or not. Rabbi Lazar matar. Rabbi Lazar says tar, v'chachamim matamim, and the chachamim say tamei. Shayi Rabbi Lazar I'm a safek bia tahar, safek maga tumah tamei. Rabbi Lazar holds that if it's a safek whether you went into the place, then you tar. If it's a safek whether you touch the tumah, then it's tamei.
Why
isn't
the case with the mouse?
Let me just finish it. So to say the same machlokes that there was by the tumah, by the field, we're going to say is by the house too, right? So Rabbi Lazar is going to say, Rabbi Lazar is going to say safek bi is tar, so that's a safek whether the mouse went into the house or not, right? And the chacham are going to say no, it's tamei, so therefore you would now have to do bedikas chametz in the house. Yeah, what are you saying?
Why isn't the case with the mouse at least a safek? Maybe he ate it, and even if not that, maybe he left with it. Like, how do we know? There's no over here. There's a vadai tamei in that field. Over here, there's no vadai that the mouse stayed in there.
You're saying that there's a vadai there in the first place. Yeah.
I don't know. There's no vadai in the mouse case at all. We don't know if it went in the house, and if it went in the house, maybe it ate it. If it didn't eat it, maybe
there is a vadai. We do know that the mouse took some chametz. We just don't know whether it went into the house.
Right, but I'm saying, so the safek number one is, did it even go in the house? Safek number
Right.
two, maybe it left, or maybe it ate it. It's
Right.
not-
Yeah, I think I came across somebody that asked that kasha, but I don't remember. Yeah. Okay, good. Now weiter. Alu badak v'loy ashka.
What's the difference
Now we
between a
get in.
bika? What's the difference between a bika and a sada?
I think it's the same thing, right? No, I'm sorry. A sada, it doesn't, meaning a sada is a field, meaning, let's say me and
Sada
you,
owns but one person. A sada is one
Right,
person.
meaning all of us have a bunch of fields together. That's a bika. But you have your sada in the bika, I have my sada in the bika. Meaning there's no technical difference between them. It's just section. It's just a way of calling the sada as each person's private, and the bika is the whole area.
Cumulative. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So then all badak v'loy ashkach. But let's say you did go into the house, right? I mean, meaning the mouse, I'm sorry, went into the house, right? But he didn't find it. Now what? So plug to the Ramei of Rabanan, that's a Machlokes Ramei of Rabanan. The Tanan hayi Ramei Reimer, called over shebecheskas tuma la'olam hu betuma asay ad sheyivada loch hatuma heichen hi. Anything that's tame remains tame until you find the source of the tuma. No, if you're in a field and you're looking to see if there was a mace there, so meaning you knew there was a mace there, but you start digging up the field to find it, and you can't find it, right? So Chachamim say, I'm sorry, Rameir says that it's until you find the mace, it's done. You're considering the whole field tummy. Chachamim say no, you buy the gacha magil sell until you get to a rock, or karka basula, or to karka that was never worked with, and then Mamela, you're done and you're potter. So the same thing here. You got to check the whole house. You check the whole house. You can't find the chametz, and you're fine, right? Which is the way we paskin, right? If you see something like that happen, then you check it, and then once you're done, you're done. Fine. Next case. Olu badak va'ashkach. Now let's say you see the mouse go into the house. You walk into the front room, and you see the piece of chametz sitting there. Great. Do you have to search the rest of the house now or not? Right? You say, hey, the house was checked already. I found a piece of chametz, and now I'm good to go. All badak va'ashkach. Plug to the Rebbe Reb Shimon Gamliel. That's a Machlokes Rebbe Shimon Gamliel. The Tanya Sada should never be kaver. If you have a field that the kaver was lost in it, hanichnas asaycha tamei. Anybody that goes into the field is going to come tamei. Nimtza ba kaver. But if you found where the kaver was and you marked it off, hanichnas asaycha tar. Whoever goes in, there's going to be tar because you found it. Shani Omer kaver she'avad hu kaver she'nimtza. The kaver was lost. That's the kaver that was found. Now, how do you know? Maybe there's two kvarim in the field. Right? Maybe you got to continue searching the field, but that's Divrei Rebbe. So Rebbe holds no. You can just assume whichever caver was lost, that's the caver that was found. You have to check the whole field. So then that would be the same thing. Rebbe would hold. You don't have to check the rest of the house because you already found the chametz, and Rav Shimon Gamliel holds that you do have to check the rest of the house. Fine. Let's say you put out 9 pieces of bread, and you find 10. Now again, do we say that there's a whole new situation here, or it's just one got added on? Plug the Rebbe Rabanan, that's a Machlokes Rebbe Rabanan. The Tanya Haniach Mana Umatzah Masayim. If you leave 100 in the box, in the Meiser box, in the Meiser Sheni box, right? You take your money, right? How did Meiser Sheni work? You took your fruit, instead of schlepping it all up to Yerushalayim, you put it onto the money, and then you put the money into the pushka, so that when you go up to Yerushalayim for the Yom Tovim, you'll spend it. So, but you put in a mana, and then you found Messiah there, right? It's your lucky day. The only problem is it's not your money. Or is it your money? That's kufa de shayla, right? So chulin and ma'aser sheni mi'ravan zebezeh. The Rebbe says it's chulin and ma'aser sheni mixed up together. No hakol chulin. Everything is considered chulin, right? Because we assume that it's something new that came here. So therefore, Rebbe Chachamim would hold also when you put down 9 pieces and now you found 10, it's not pshat that one piece got added to the 9. No, it's a whole new 10 pieces, and therefore you would have to search the whole house again to make sure that everything is in order.
What do you mean
right?
added? What do you mean added? You said you put out 9, you found 10, so it's not like you
right.
just added 1. But isn't the whole point here is it's
No,
not. It
meaning
doesn't
you
seem like
lost
it's
your
like
original
mana.
9. What do you
You have
say?
the original 9, but the idea is that you're not doing this as a game. You're doing this as bedikas chametz. So you take a fan chametz.
You did, but now we're saying that now that you found 10 pieces instead of 9, then you haven't found any of the 9. This is a new 10.
Why?
Because that this is the lumdus of it, right? But because we're assuming that if you found 10 pieces, then this is a whole new ball game. These 10 pieces are not. I don't think this means like what we're doing, that when we put out 10 pieces hidden. I think it just means that you left in your house 10 pieces of chametz. I don't think. See that when I learned it also, I was thinking, okay, so one second, you put out 9 pieces, you found 10. Good, but at least you found 9 of your original pieces. No, it means that you had 10 bagels. Or you left 9. You did bedikas chametz in your house the day before Pesach. You left 9 bagels there, right? For breakfast or for supper, whatever it is. You come back, you find 10 bagels, right? So now, do we just say there's an added bagel here? Or are these all 10 new bagels and some kid took your other 9 bagels and threw it all over the house, right? So that's what we're saying, that the Chachamim say, we think that it's a 10 new bagels, and therefore you have 9 loose bagels running around your house that you have to check for.
You don't have to answer me if you don't want. If there's a simon on this, does it make a difference? You always buy everything bagels, and these are all raisin.
Yeah, then for sure, no.
Yeah, okay, fine.
How can you not say that? No, how can you not say that?
That's
if it's
what I
new,
would
if it's
think.
not the bagels you bought.
It's interesting that they go with the mahalach as it's a new 10 bagels as opposed to maybe you miscounted to begin with.
Right. Well, right. That's
meaning
true.
like why wouldn't it? What
It's yuck.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
like
what
why
you're
you just say
asking.
I miscounted. So really I had 10 bagels and I not 9. Not that I put it out, that I forgot. Okay, I had 10 instead. Or I got a baker's dozen, so I got 13 instead of 12.
Because the guy didn't. The case is the guy didn't forget. He knew.
He wrote it down.
So he knew, but he found one extra one, so therefore it's considered a new 10.
That I don't make.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying that logic doesn't make as much sense as saying,
but
okay, he
knew.
was wrong.
He knew.
Yeah, you're right.
All Gemara before it's people forgetting. You can't forget it now.
What do you mean forgetting?
They're all forgetting about all their stuff.
They're not forgetting. These are all safekas that we mamish have nothing. We don't know anything about it. It's just a matter of what are the assumptions.
But they didn't know, right? They forgot.
I don't know. And the Hanami. So you're saying that maybe he forgot, and there's in the case of the money. In the case of that's why you want to say it's different than the money, because the money he left 100 and he found 200. So you're telling me that he made a mistake of counting 100?
Maybe he had 2 bills stuck together. Like what he.
Right. Okay, but these are.
That's maybe
that's
from the case. You're never supposed to count the money in your wallet, right? That's right.
Yeah.
The bracha, you have to leave the bracha to be out.
It's whole new money. Now you have to go find money. Put in new money now.
Well, that's a different shiloh. Whether you have to risk your responsibility to pay back the money. That's okay.
No, you could say the same case as the bagels. And now it's new money, and now you have to put in another extra 100. You're 100.
You would have to. Not at my extra 100. You have to replace the original 100 according to the Chachamim.
Right.
Okay, whatever it is, these are all each one of these cases can spend weeks on. We can run with all the lumdus. Okay, right. The next is the opposite. Hiniach yuru matzah teisha. A much more common case, right? You put out 10 and you found 9. Hainu sefer, that's the sefer. The Tanya nich masayim. If you left 200 in the box of meiser money, umatzah mana, and you find 100, mana munach umana muta. So we say there was 100 there, right? And then a mana was taken. No, the Chachamim say the same thing. It's chulin. We say it was totally replaced, this is a bigger chiddush, right? Because here it's just missing. The Chachamim are not willing to say that 100 was removed. That's what Rebbe's saying. Chachamim is saying that it's all chulin. So the same thing, but the 10 and the 9 cases. We'd say the same Machlokes. Fine. Next case. On Talmud base. If he put the chametz in one corner, right? Meaning, you put your bread for supper that night, or for bagels for the breakfast. You left it in one corner, and then you come there, and then you find it in another corner. Right? So we could just imagine what the Machlokes is going to be with this. If you have an axe that got lost in a house, habayis tame, right? The house is, everything in the house is going to be tame. Shani oimer, because I'm going to say adam tame nichnas lasham. This sounds like a stretch to me, but we're going to say that a person that was tame came in there, right? Benotlei, and took it. And when he took this axe, then he went and he touched everything else. He touched everything in the house. Right? That's a Rabanan hold. Because I'm going to say that he took, the owner lent the axe to somebody and forgot about it. Or he took it from one corner and put it to the other corner. So the Gemara says, who says anything in this price about a corner? Right? This don't mention that a corner. Our question was about corner from one matzah in one corner, move to another corner. But the price about this axe with the tum in the house doesn't say anything about a corner.
This is a COVID Gemara.
Why is that?
Walk into the house and you touch the axe, but what else did you touch in the meantime? You went and everything, and someone else walks in, and all of a sudden he's got COVID.
Good, very good, very good. Yeah. That's yeah. When I was learning with somebody, one of the kids, Mishnayos, with which we're going to get to at the end of the parak, Rishon, Sheni, right? So I use COVID as like you're saying, you instead of tum, it's like COVID. The first guy can the matama, the two guy, right? One COVID can make two COVIDs, that can make four COVIDs, it makes 8, whatever. Anyways, yeah. So the Gemara says,
and then you wipe it down your groceries as you come in the house.
right. So Zavis man doch hashmei. Who mentioned anything about Zavis? So no, some chesurim mechzav. There was something missing, and this is what the Bryce is saying. Kardem sha'avad bebayis. If you have an axe that got lost in the house, habayis tame, the house is tame. Shani oimer adam tame nichnas l'sham, because I say that a person that's tame went in there, but not when he took it. Aisha nichu bezavizu umatz bezavis acheres. Habayis tame. Or another case, if it was found in one corner and it was moved to another corner, the whole house is tame. Shani yomer adam tame nichnas l'sham, but not l'mizavizu v'nichu bezavis acheres. Right? Because I say that adam tame came around and moved things. Or shimon gamliel omer habayis tahar. The bias is tar. Shani yomer hishilu la'acher v'shokach. He lent it to somebody else and forgot about it. I should not l'mizavizu v'nichu bezavizu v'shokach. He just forgot that he moved it from one corner to the other corner. Right? So what does this have to do with chametz? So Rav Shimon Gamliel, who says, there's nothing to be concerned about that somebody Tomei came into the house, is going to say the same thing. You must have forgotten. You moved your chametz from one corner to the other corner. Rabanan would hold that it's a problem. And Rav Shimon Gamliel is going to say that it's not a problem because you forgot and you moved your chametz. Fine.
Yaakov, when the Mishna said that, Ein L'davar Seif, I guess this is what they were talking about.
Very good, Akiva. Especially because we're going to come up with a couple of teku, so it's mamish ain't l'davar seif.
It's mamish. The Gemara just keeps going.
Correct. Very good. But then we get into a couple of more different, interesting cases here. But yeah, very good. That's a good word. Omar Rava Akbar nichnas v'kikar b'piv. If you have a mouse that went in and it has the chametz in his mouth, v'nichnas acharov umatza pirurin, and you go after the mouse. Right? You so quickly get that mouse out of the house that just went in with chametz in its mouth. And all you found was pirurin, all you found was crumbs. Tzarech bedika, then you're going to need bedikas chametz in the whole house. Because an achbar does not usually leave crumbs. So since there are crumbs in the house, we have to assume they came from someplace else.
Maybe you were chasing it.
Right?
I don't know. From someplace else, crumbs aren't a problem.
What?
We said crumbs aren't a problem.
Oh, yeah, Naftali's kasha saying, why are you
Perurin? Else.
No, but you don't have to be searching for the Perurin. But that means that there was more chametz in this house. No, that's where the crumbs come from.
If you you went to look for the achbar. You can't find the achbar, so you can't find it. What do the Perurim help you?
Doesn't help you.
What does it hurt you? I mean.
What do you mean?
What is
first of all, who says you didn't find the achbar?
You're not looking for the achbar anymore.
So what? But that's not going to make a difference if you find the akbar or not.
You're looking for that one piece.
But once you see crumbs on the floor, that's it. Now you just went into a house and you realize that there might be somebody was there with chametz.
How do you know there wasn't checked the whole house?
Checked the whole house.
You ignore crumbs.
But now that there are crumbs there, you didn't see them before. The crumbs were there. You didn't see them before.
So you didn't see when you checked it.
Because obviously, if you never checked, that means you didn't check it out. These are new crumbs that are here. Yeah.
We said we brush off the table.
That's true, but the bottom line is these are crumbs that weren't there before. No?
Okay, yeah.
That's what you have to say. Otherwise, your kasha is a good kasha. I think your kasha is a good kasha, but the crumbs were not there before.
Why doesn't the mouse have a din of a guy? That if the guy brings chametz into your house, it's not really considered yours. Why doesn't the mouse have the same din?
I gotta saw that somebody asked that kasha. Somebody asks, why don't you say it's the same din as a guy? First of all, I'm not so sure if that was negaya to this, because a guy doesn't hide its chametz somewhere, right? An achbar may hide its chametz. That's what they do, right? A guy, we're not assuming a guy's coming to the house, and which reminds me, Gershon, we didn't get to your kasha. Why is it just not the whole thing not disgusting because it was a mouse? Right, but I think that would be the pshat that the akbar hides these things, so that's what we're more concerned for.
And why doesn't have a dinner?
But I hear, but that's not. The what?
What are they in Israel? They say if you find chametz on Pesach, you should spritz it with economica to like make it butter. You won't eat from it.
Oh, that yeah, no, that's true.
So why doesn't a mouse have the same? I'm not eating off the mouse.
It's kelef. Wait a minute, you don't know where the chametz is in your house. Right, and the chametz.
But you saw a mouse brought it in, right?
Right.
It's disgusting. It's not. It doesn't have for you. It's not considered something you'd eat, right?
That's what That's what Gershon right. That's what Gershon was asking yesterday. I don't know what. I totally forgot to look into it.
Well, he brought it.
What?
The mouse had a $50 sandwich from $5.50 in his mouth. It's not so disgusting anymore.
That depends who you ask.
Wasn't it a little piece of honey cake with mouse bites in it? You know.
Now you just ruined $5.50 for everyone.
Well, that's anyways. You're not allowed to go there, right?
Right.
So that's why you picked that example. Anyways, okay. Well, that taco we said that really has to be nisom achilas kelev. So right, Moshe Doi reminded me that was okay. Right. Let's say a kid runs into the house with a kikar in his hand, and then you find crumbs. Ain't tzarich bedikum. Tinag does leave crumbs. So if you know the tinag ran into the house with the chametz, right, and then you see crumbs, so then you know. Now, I mean, what do we do with the practical with this? Isn't every house have this? You do bedikas chametz, and then there's tinag coming in and out. That means you have to go be beidik the house again. I guess this is the makar why the women make sure that there's no chametz anywhere near the house from a week before Pesach or 2 weeks before, because they don't want this case. But it sounds like if a teenager goes into the house and you don't find any crumbs.
Even if you buy lady fingers of 2 weeks before Yontif, right?
Yeah, I Grada was wondering if that helps. Meaning bring in the kosher Pesach stuff, crumble it and put it all over your house. Like this, now it's a safek whether these crumbs are Pesach dika crumbs or Chametz dika crumbs.
Let me know how your wife likes that.
I didn't say we're bringing her into the equation here. Right? I'm just, yeah. Okay, but all right. So let's see weiter. Boy Rava. Now we get into more cases over here. Boy Rava. Achbar nichnas v'kikar b'piv. You see the mouse go in and it has food in its mouth. Achbar yoytze v'kikar b'piv, and it comes out of the house with it in its mouth. Mao. Mi amrinan hainu hide the ol v'hainu hide the nofik. This is the mouse that went in, and this is the mouse that went out. Or maybe you have an infestation issue, and the mouse that went in is not the mouse that went out. Now, all right. Also, the Gemara is not assuming that that you recognize the mouse, that you have the ability
Finally, a logical thought.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Imtins alaymar, and then the Gemara says take on all of them. That's the pella, right? Okay. Imtins alaymar hainu haida ova hainu haida nova. If you're going to say the mouse that went in is the mouse that went out. Hakbar lova nichnas v'kika b'piv. A white mouse went in. V'akbar shocher yoytze v'kika b'piv, and a black mouse came out. Hi vada yachrinahu. Is this for sure a different mouse because it's a different color? The black mouse took it away from the white mouse. We're not going to get into the example that the Gemara chooses here, right? Right. So that, but maybe he forced it away from the white mouse. Fine.
Black mice matter.
Again, right, exactly. Very good. Very good.
Please mute him. Please mute that. That was ridiculous, Michael. You should shut your screen off now.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
Yeah. We missed you. We missed you, Michael. Yeah.
I was thinking of a joke for a few days.
There you go. Okay. If you say that akbarim don't take it from each other, akbar nichnas v'kikar b'piv. If you have a mouse that goes in with a kikar and chulda yotze v'kikar b'piv, and you have a weasel that comes out with the food in its mouth. B'pia, I'm sorry, chulda is nekeva. B'pia, mao chulda vade me akbar shakalsi. The chulda for sure got it away from the mouse. Oidoma achrinahu. Or maybe it's a different one. It's a different piece of bread. Because if it took it from the mouse, the weasel should have the mouse in its mouth also, right? It's much bigger than the mouse. Yeah. And if you're going to say that if it would have taken it from the achbar, it should have the whole achbar in its mouth. Right. So you have an achbar that goes in with a piece of bread in its mouth. It has both in its mouth. Is this for sure going to say that that's the one that it is? If you say that it would be the same loaf, then it should have the you should have found the bread in the mouth of the mouse, which is then inside the chulda, right? He's got a chad gadya here, right? Again, when the mouse went in with the piece of bread in the mouth, out comes the chulda with the mouse in its mouth and the bread in its mouth, but not together. Not meaning the bread is no longer in the mouse's mouth. So therefore, we're wondering maybe it's a different bread. Maybe because it got scared, the bread fell out of its mouth. And the chulda took it. So teiko, we have a teiko on all these shilas. Fine.
This whole Gemara appears to be a raya to Nashim Dat and Kalis.
Why?
Because everyone would just say, forget the shilas, call an exterminator.
Okay, very good.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think a bittul should work on this. I think everyone would have a bittul ishma if you had to.
Yeah, but the question is the Rabanan. The question is the Rabanan? Are you mechuyev to be bedikas the Rabanan for this? And it wouldn't be a deraisa, right? Yeah, that we'll see from the next question. Boy Rava, kikar b'shmei kaira. Let's say you have a. Here, Grada gets into it's very interesting. Not that the other wasn't very interesting, but it comes out something very practical, at least a practical question that comes out of this next Gemara. Boy, Rava, kikar b'shmei kaira. If you have a loaf of bread in the what do you call it? The beams of the house. Tzarich sulam laharida. Do you need to go get a ladder to get it down? Or you don't need it. What's the shaila? Mi avrina kulei hai layachachu Rabanan. The Rabanan said you don't have to go get yourself a ladder to go get the chametz that's on top of the beam. Since the bread will not fall by itself, you're not going to come to eat it. But sometimes it does. You can get a bad weather or something and wind, and it can somehow knock it off and onto the floor, and then you may come to eat it.
And there's still an Indian Bali Road, Bali Matzi over here, like to not have it in front of you that you could see it.
Well, no, you mevatel it.
I'm saying you mevatel it either way.
Right, but now, so we're saying, even though you're mevatel it, you have to be by the comments because shema yavel achla. If it's way up on top of the rafters of the house, you're not going to come to eat it. So right here, Pashta says you can't see it. So how do you know about it?
Why is it different than behind your oven, which you said yesterday behind the fridge you don't do?
That's exactly the shaila.
Why is it different?
Because let's see. But that is the shaila. How far
that's because they didn't have refrigerators in Gemara. This is the case in the Gemara.
No, that's how far you mechuyev to go. Right, let's see the next tzad. And if you're going to go with zimnin the nafal v'asil lemichle, sometimes it'll fall down. You might come to eat it. Kikar bebar. If you have a kikar, a piece of bread that's in a bar, do you need to get a ladder to go down into the hole that's in your yard to get the chametz? Bread doesn't float up by itself, right? Meaning it can fall off the rafter by itself, but it doesn't come out of a bar by itself, right? Sometimes you're going to go down there, right? To go, usually means to go to the bathroom, and then you might come to eat it there. And if you say that you do have to get a ladder because you may go down there and come to eat it, meaning you have a pet snake and it's got bread in its mouth. If you're a smart guy, you're not going to get this thing out of the snake's mouth yourself, right? So do you have to hire a snake charmer to get this piece of bread out of your pet snake? Right? Now, what's the start with that? The Rabanan said you got to do it with your guf, meaning you can get a ladder, go down to the bar and get out the chametz. Get a ladder, go up to the roof and get the chametz. But with your money, the Rabbanan did not make you be matriach yourself, and meaning you don't have to go hire a snake charmer, or it doesn't make a difference. Right? So teku, we have a teku.
Didn't we have a Gemara Shiloh before about spending money on searching for chametz?
Very good. That's Taisus Kasha. Excellent, Akiva. That's Taisus Kasha, right? So Taisus says before that you do want to spend your money, right? So that's what?
Right. That's what we discussed earlier. No.
No. Right. So meaning if you know here it's a safek, so therefore, what are you saying? Right, so it's Taisus is machalek between if it's a vade that you're going to need to be by the chametz or it's just a safek, right? But what's interesting that comes out from this is that the Gemara is entertaining the thought that a person is not mechuyev to necessarily go hire somebody for the tirchas of bedikas chametz, right? That the Gemara is clearing that maybe that's. Meaning you yourself are mechuyev to do it. To go further than that, you may not be mechuyev to. That's a big sugya. How far do you have to go in order to make sure that you're not being over an isur or to go do a mitzvah? Okay, I guess we'll stop. We can stop here. The next mission is it's a whole new sugya. Fine. Okay, I hope that we got through all this. It's confusing, but all right, fine.
So Yaakov, I missed a couple of days of the makeup. Did we get up to the case or about the 10 pieces by bedikas chametz with the chulda?
It was yesterday. What do you mean? Which case of 10 pieces?
But the 10 pieces that you put out by bedikas chametz, and you count, and you have you have.
And you miscounted.
You missed that you choshed about a chulda coming to take it.
Yes, we had that. Yes, it was yesterday. It was two lines in the Gemara yesterday, but I don't. It could be you're referring to a different Gemara, but it was really two lines in the Gemara yesterday.
No, there was a Taisus that spoke about it somewhere. You know what I'm talking about?
Taisus? That what?
The case that case of the 10 pieces by bedikas chametz. That you went and you searched and you only found 9.
Right.
That we were not choshed. Chulda took it. Did we have that case yet?
We did. We had it yesterday, didn't we? Didn't we bring it up yesterday?
I didn't do yesterday's blot.
Yeah, we did it. It's Elo Marov. It's right halfway down Tesam base.
Okay.
Well, maybe I don't know if that's what you're That's probably what you're referring to. Is there a Taisus on it? There's no Taisus on it, right? No.
I think maybe it's later. I think it's later on the Gemara. All right, whatever. I was curious.
What's his word?
I'll look into it. If I find it, I'll let you know. Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I remember you probably giving a whole schmooze on it. Okay.
All right. Good to see you back.
Thank you.
Rabbi, your shaila yesterday with the Amazon package, where you get two packages, whether it's kavua or it's question.
What?
Question about Amazon, where you get two packages.
Tapes. We have a tape player, but I don't know if it works.
Yeah.
I have to find
The first one doesn't come, and then why isn't the shaila? Amazon says they sent it both. The shaila starts with UPS, no?
Yeah.
No, but the shaila is who's the Amazon seller? A yid or a guy?
But I'm saying it started outside of the store. The store was Amazon, whatever, but the shaila didn't start until it hit UPS. UPS lost the package.
Like one of those big round thingies.
You mean you're saying when is the safek start?
Isn't that the whole shaila? If it starts at Amazon, then for sure it's kavua maybe. But you're saying maybe that's the shaila. But it's a shaila. Amazon says they sent the package. They're sure that they sent you the package. It only got lost with UPS, so it should never be kavua.
No, but the shaila is not on the package. The shaila is on who's the seller.
No, but I thought it matters if it's in the store, it begins in the store, or it begins in the street. Didn't Rebbe say that if it's 10 stores, you don't know which one, but the meat is lying on the floor, versus if you're in the store when you buy it and then you have amnesia?
Correct. But when did the shaila of who the seller is started where?
It started in the truck, in UPS's truck. It's in the street. It's like finding it in the street.
No, but that's not where the shaila started. That was just something. That was just.
UPS, I mean, Amazon says they sold it. Amazon says it was out of our rishus when we sent it out. It was in the street when it was lost. It was in the street in Suffolk when it was a confusion of. I mean, I guess maybe I'm not understanding maybe this is the answer that I don't.
No. Meaning the shaila that we have here is: do you have to do hashavas aveda on it?
No, I'm talking about from last night, the one where Rebbe said, where you order a package from Amazon and it doesn't show up, so you order a second one and then they both come.
Right.
So by that case, the shaila is only a shaila when it's in UPS's possession.
No, but what's the shaila?
So you're saying, do you have to return it?
Right. So where did that shaila start from? That shaila starts from, did you buy it from a yid or a guy? Okay. Right. That shaila starts in the store. No?
I don't know. Why is it different than finding it in the street? Where the shaila starts in the street. I mean, the store says it was gone from us. Both stores said, yeah, we sold you a piece of meat.
Here.
No, but we don't know if there's a chiyuv to. We just don't know if there's a chiyuv for you to.
Whether the meat is tamei or tahar, if that's different.
No, right. No, we're not about whether the meat is tamei or tahar. That's and chanam. You're right. If that would be the case, then yeah, you're 100% right. Then the shaila starts at UPS. It starts in the street. Here, it's a shaila with who the seller is.
Okay.
Yeah.
You understand what it's cost now?
All right.
You get it for $39.
Fine.
How much was it back then?
Parrots, you coming home at all?
You want to see something here?